Hello, everyone. In the last post, I spoke about who or how God is. Now let's go further and see how the information in the last post can be true, and how it correlates to a lot of things that the Bible writes and tells us about. After that, let's also dive further into counter-arguments that some of us could have about what I just told you about. 1. Like I mentioned in my last post, that because God is formless, he can be everywhere at once, so-called omnipresent, and why he can be omnipotent, all-powerful, omniscient, all-knowing, and transcendent. Humans think, but how can anyone be at several places at once, even less everywhere at once? Impossible. Yes, impossible in human form. And because humans think of God as being in human form with a body, 2 hands, 2 feet, it is unbelievable for us to imagine that he can be omnipresent. We just accept what we learn as Christians, and we learn that he is omnipresent, so be it. But we never really think about it. It's exactly like a Wi-Fi signal is in the whole room, not just in the corner of the room, it's even outside the room, through the walls and in the whole residence. But it's only one Wi-Fi signal. This is how God can be omnipresent. But because we humans are so ignorant and simple-minded, we can't comprehend something like this, while we see God in a human-like form, which of course cannot be everywhere at once. People then think that an omnipresent God is an absurd idea and an unbelievable thought. What is absurd and unbelievable is that anything that resembles our limited body can be omnipresent. That's impossible. No, God is formless and timeless. This is why it literally says in John 4:24, God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in the spirit and in truth. And also it says in Psalm 139, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. 2. Saying that sounds banal, simplistic, and also materialistic, which takes away the personality from God, and suddenly some of you see God as being described as some sort of matter. That's why some people get upset and offended and say condescendingly, don't call God a vibration or God is no radio wave. But this thought of process is due to our limited minds. Just because God are formless doesn't mean he is just an energy or vibration or wave. Those are just words. And all we have is our words to describe something. Those words are the closest we can come up with trying to describe God, so please, see beyond the words. Don't be literal and stop seeing it with your limited mind. That is being ignorant and limited. Because if you understand it like that I'm describing God as merely a materialistic, banal, elementary, and uncomplicated radio wave or a vibration, then that is just ignorant of you. And you've totally missed the point of the description. The point of the description is that God is formless, that he is timeless, that he can be everywhere at once, and how he can be everywhere at once. We can't really understand God as long as we are in human form. Therefore, please see beyond the words themselves, because there's really no words to actually describe God, so we must use our limited words and languages. The words energy, vibration, wave, and frequency is just the closest descriptive words we can come up with to be able to explain this. I'm certain that there are other attributes that could explain God further, but that is outside our knowledge and outside our physical laws to be able to understand. They are merely words to try to understand how God can be and how he can do the things he did in the Bible. So I will continue using the terms above to explain what I have to explain. Please think further than the words. 3. Why do we see God as such? As a human-like person with a personality and human attributes. Yet no human has ever seen God and lived, because God says this himself in Exodus 33:20. But, he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. We see God as such because that's how he is described in the Bible, as a king, a ruler, a judge, a father, and so on. But if we have never seen God, how would we humans in any other way represent God in an image? The only way to do that is the way we see kings, rulers, judges, and fathers. That's our only way to do it. God seated on a throne, wearing a cape, crown, sometimes holding a scepter. But our minds and knowledge is immensely limited that we cannot know God, not while we're in these bodies. So likewise, don't limit your thought to a picture that has been created by limited minds. Make sense? In reality, even though he is all of that, a king, a ruler, the creator of all things, he has no limited form. We just have no other picture or image to depict God as. This is the highest and most respectful image we can come up with our small and extremely limited minds. Yes, these are also things described in the Bible, which I will describe in the next post. But because we see God as human-like, we have a hard time to imagine and seeing God as someone else except someone with human attributes. No, God is formless and timeless. Stay tuned for more on this subject in the next post.